In this video, I'm going to be attempting a recipe for hazelnut liqueur, which can be found in Roots, the book by Tommy Banks. This recipe is quite simple and straightforward. It only calls for 3 ingredients, first of which is 1 litre of vodka, which you have here. Then have 200 grams of hazelnuts and 100 grams of caster sugar. I also have a Kilner style jar, which I'll be using to steep the ingredients. I think it'll take about a week. So the first thing we need to do is roast these hazelnuts until they turn to a nice golden brown colour. This should only take about 5 or 6 minutes in an oven which has been preheated to 170 degrees Celsius. I've just transferred the hazelnuts to a baking dish as well, just so that we can spread them out evenly, which should mean that they all colour evenly as well. So let's see how they get on. So the hazelnuts have now had their time in the oven, and we've got some nice golden brown colours among them. I did give them a bit longer than the recipe recommends. I gave them 12 minutes in the oven rather than 6. I wasn't seeing any golden brown after 6 minutes, so I just put them in for a bit longer, and eventually we got some colours coming through, and I'm quite happy with that. Our next job is to combine all the ingredients in this jar.
Okay, so now we have our vodka, caster sugar and roasted hazelnuts together in the jar. The next job is to take a rolling pin and use it to bash and mush all the ingredients together. This should hopefully release the oils and the flavour from the hazelnuts into the vodka.
Okay, hopefully those hazelnuts are now sufficiently bashed. It was actually a lot more difficult than I expected it to be, mainly because a lot of these hazelnuts are floating to the top, so when you try and shove a rolling pin in to mash them up, they just disperse and the rolling pin misses them. So what I did was I scooped out a few from the top into a separate container, gave them a bash in there and added them back to this container. So that's all we need to do at this point. So the next step is just to leave this to steep for a week, and then we'll come back and drain it through a cloth and taste it. Okay, so that mixture has now been steeping for a week. As you can see, it's taken on some of the colour of the hazelnuts in there, and hopefully taken on a lot of the flavour too. It doesn't look that appetising right now, but hopefully once we've sieved it through a muslin cloth, it should look a lot more like a liqueur and a spirit rather than this weird mix of debris. Right, we have a jug which I'm going to pour the mixture into. I'm just going to sieve it through a kitchen sieve and also some muslin cloth just to ensure that any debris and bits of hazelnut are captured in there, and hopefully we're left just with the liquid in the jug. Right, that's taken a bit longer than I thought it would, so I'm just going to leave it for a few minutes and then come back to it to see whether it's all managed to drain through. And here we have the final product, which I've just poured back into the original vodka bottle and made a little label for it so we know what it is. Looks like we've got more or less a litre of it, which is good. I think the final thing to do is to give it a taste. Okay, here goes.
I'm really pleased with that. The hazelnut flavour really does come through. It's also got a slight sweetness from the sugar that we added, but it's not overbearing by any means. I think it would make a really nice nightcap at the end of a winter's evening. It's actually the end of November whilst I'm filming this. We had a bit of snow last night, so I can see this working quite nicely as the cold winter nights draw in. I also think it would work really well in a coffee liqueur or a hot chocolate if you wanted to add a bit of booze to one of those hot drinks. So that's that. I'd like to thank you for watching this video and staying with me until the end. If you would like to try the recipe, I will put the measurements and the method down in the description of the video. Please do leave a comment if you've given it a try and let me know what you think. Take care. See you later.